this tutorial, we will show you our workflow for 3D Max plugin used with Irradiance camera mode. Once the Render Beamer app and 3D Max plugin are installed, open your scene and forward it to the Render Beamer using the Beam It Up menu. Next, select Irradiance Camera, the last mode on the list. This mode, previously called Camera Animation, is designed for camera animations only. Irradiance Camera should be used only in a specified scenario with GI prepared in Irradiance Map and Light Cache. Also, what's even more important, the only animated object or parameter in the scene must be the camera. That means the scene cannot contain any lights, materials, or geometry movements. For scenes with that kind of setup, use the standard Render as Is mode. When using Irradiance Camera mode, our render farm will pre-calculate GI maps and use them in the rendering process. At first, our plugin will change your current GI setup to Irradiance map with incremental add to current map setting and Light Cache with flythrough mode. GI maps will be calculated on the farm using one of the two options. Single node, recommended for scenes with a frame range smaller than 200-300 frames, and multi-node, for scenes with a larger frame range. The difference between those two options is caching procedure. When using single node, we will calculate your GI on a single render node, so you will receive a slower but more stable GI map. When using multi-node, we will split your GI caching range and calculate it on multiple render nodes. We will then merge the maps into one file. Both methods of GI caching require a step value, or as we call it, baking step. By default, it's set to every 10th frame, which should be enough in most cases. Save LC cache option will set the GI caching procedure to save Light Cache as separate VRL map file. By default, Save LC cache switch is off, meaning the Light Cache caching procedure will use Store Direct Light and will be saved inside the Irradiance map. Next, let's take a look at the camera and render range settings. As you can see, we got all renderable camera listed here. You can turn on and off cameras directly in the plugin UI without going back to 3D Max settings. Irradiance Camera is dedicated to animations, so you can only provide a frame range, not a single frame in the frame field. You can also edit the frame range later before submitting the job on the render farm directly on the Web Manager dashboard. Next, you can continue to the plugin render settings. Here you can change some of render setup for your scene, like override output or export scene as V-Ray standalone. For more info about plugin render settings, please check our dedicated V-Ray overview tutorial in our 3D Max plugin playlist. Generally, if you don't want to change anything and just continue with the process, just use Send to the Farm button. At this point, our plugin will start preparing your scene and project data to transfer to the farm. This process includes saving the scene and copying textures and all related project data. Once the preparation process is done, Render Beamer will upload your files to the farm file servers. To continue the process, click here to submit button or just add a render job directly on Web Manager. You should now see the job submission window where you can review some of the render settings. Here you can still edit job settings before adding it to the farm. For 3D Max project, you can set main output format, turn on and off cameras, or edit every possible range. If you want to test scene with the lower quality first, you can do that without uploading the project again. Just edit max subdiff or noise threshold parameters. If everything is okay, click on the submit button. At this point, all your cameras have been added to the farm render queue. Let's grab a cup of coffee and wait for all shots to complete the rendering process, or just continue working on another shot to render. As you can see, all cameras are rendering at the same time, which you can't do even on a very powerful workstation. Once rendering is complete, you can go back to Render Beamer and download the outputs. Just switch to the Downloads tab, refresh the list, and press Download All button. Now, the Render Beamer will start pulling rendered outputs from the farm file servers. Let's take a look on the outputs now. Let's select Open Directory on the downloaded folder. As you can see, all outputs are here, including render elements and main color output. One level higher, you can find other rendered cameras. So here we got camera animation 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that's basically it when it comes to 3ds Max V-Ray Irradiance camera mode. Happy rendering with GarageFarm!